Welcome back, true crime enthusiasts. Today we dive deep into one of the most chilling mysteries in American history, the Zodiac Killer. Who was he? What drove him to commit such heinous acts? And why does his identity remain one of the greatest unsolved mysteries to this day? Stick around as we uncover the dark legacy of this notorious figure. Did you know that despite claiming responsibility for 37 murders, only 5 have been confirmed? Let's explore the terrifying details behind these crimes. The Zodiac Killer was active primarily in Northern California during the late 1960s. His first confirmed victims were David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, shot near Vallejo on December 20th, 1968. They were just teenagers, full of life and promise. Imagine being out on a date, enjoying a peaceful evening, only to become a victim of such random violence. This was the reality for many young couples targeted by the Zodiac. David Faraday, 17, and Betty Lou Jensen, 16, shot near Vallejo, CA, December 20, 1768. Michael Mageau, 19, survived, and Darlene Farron, shot near Vallejo, CA, July 4th, 1969. Brian Hartnell survived, and Cecily Shepard, 22, stabbed near Lake Berryessa, CA, September 27th, 1969. Paul Stein, 29, shot in San Francisco, CA, October 11th, 1969. Each of these cases reveals not just brutality, but also a calculated approach by the killer. He often chose secluded locations, places where young couples felt safe but were tragically vulnerable. What sets the Zodiac apart from other serial killers is his chilling need to communicate. He sent cryptic letters to newspapers, taunting law enforcement and boasting about his crimes. Imagine receiving a letter from someone who has taken lives. How would that make you feel? The Zodiac's letters were cold and mocking. One infamous letter included a cipher that remained unsolved for decades, until it was finally cracked in 2020. Complex cryptograms challenging readers to decode. A symbol, the crosshair-like symbol, became synonymous with his identity, arrogant and sadistic. He reveled in the fear he instilled. His letters were not just messages. They were psychological games designed to instill fear and maintain control over his narrative. The Zodiac Killer displayed traits consistent with narcissism, an individual who craved attention and notoriety. His intelligence is evident in his use of cryptography. He likely enjoyed crafting puzzles that would engage both the public and law enforcement. Dude, motivate someone to commit such horrific acts. For the Zodiac, it seems to be a mix of power and thrill, a sadistic pleasure derived from instilling fear in others. Despite extensive investigations spanning decades, the Zodiac Killer was never caught. Thousands of tips flooded in, yet none led to conclusive evidence. Arthur Lee Allen, a later resident who became a prime suspect but died before charges could be filed. Richard Gaikowski, another name that surfaced over time but lacked definitive proof. As forensic technology advances, especially DNA testing, new leads continue to emerge. Could we finally be close to uncovering his identity? The legacy of the Zodiac Killer extends far beyond his crimes. He has inspired countless books, documentaries, and films, including David Fincher's acclaimed movie Zodiac. But why does this case continue to fascinate us? Perhaps it's the blend of fear surrounding random violence and the intellectual challenge posed by his cryptic communications. In conclusion, the Zodiac Killer remains an enigma, a figure whose combination of violence and intellect leaves us both terrified and intrigued. As new theories emerge and technology advances, will we ever uncover his true identity? Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of America's darkest mysteries. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Who do you think the Zodiac Killer really was?